Captain Marvel issue number 7. This is the issue where I started noticing color artists for what they're good for. The one, what's her name? Bon Villain, I think, is the name of the color artist here in this book. She's a red tint color artist. I noticed it in Carmen Carnero's art in the previous issues. It's a different artist in this comic. It's someone named Martello, but there's also like a red tint in this comic book. And it's got to be that color artist. I pointed my fingers at her because when I read X-Men Red, funny enough, Red, Carmen Carnero's artwork didn't have this red tint to it. So that's the style of the color artist. I wish it wouldn't be. That's my opinion on that. As far as the comic goes, yeah, I didn't like the comic. They begin with Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel in their switched bodies. That's going to be really confusing for this whole review. So they're talking to each other about the powers, and Doctor Strange is telling Captain Marvel, when you're in my body, don't use teleportation. That trick will not be a success. Too risky. No. And she's also explaining to him about his powers. So we are establishing limits. We know where not to go, how much is too much magic, or in Captain Marvel's case, power. It gets scratched by the end because Captain Marvel's body goes binary, and the body of Doctor Strange does a trick to get rid of all of the zombies. I just jumped to the end, but that's why I didn't like most of it. I kind of went into this comic not wanting to like it being a War of Realms tie-in, which is not officially a tie-in. It's like, it shouldn't be called Captain Marvel issue 7. It should be War of the Realms Captain Marvel issue 1. They're taking advantage of me and you who subscribe to this on our pull list. Same with Tony Stark's Iron Man. We subscribe to it on our pull list, and they know that we can't go to our vendors and say, no, I don't want this one, because that'd just be straight up rude. So they're including it. Uncanny X-Men didn't do that. Matthew Rosenberg just wrote an Uncanny X-Men story for War of the Realms. And no, it's not essential. Sorry about that, the phone was ringing. It's not essential, which is my beef with War of Realms tie-ins. Basically all of them, except for that one with Spider-Man and Buttercup. That was cool. Not essential, but very good read. And it was out of time, and because it was in between issues 2 and 3, when 4 was already out in theaters, on comic book racks. Back to the story. Oh yeah, with Doctor Strange and with Captain Marvel speaking to each other, these A-list, powered, and then there's fucking Black Widow with her pew pew, her guns. It's like, doesn't even compare. But you need your Zack Ryders to have your John Cena's, so that's why I'm gonna justify it. But like, Black Widow's useless. There was this page in here that pissed me off. As soon as I opened it, I'm looking at it and I'm just, okay, we got a whole page of people sitting down. So instantly I hated it. And then I kind of read it, and they made the best of it, watching Black Widow get in fight with a crocodile. Turn the page though, they're still sitting down. It's more of the same. It's like comic books. I need my action. I need my movement. I don't like that. I know Kelly Thompson did Mr. and Mrs. X, and I think it might have been issue 4 when they were in space. Gambit was kind of running, and all of the pages looked the same for like, I think I turned it twice, and it was the same thing happening, same background, but the action was different. Gambit was flipping, doing some stuff. The dialogue made sense, and that was cool to see that. But this one, it was just the same foreground, and the background was Black Widow getting in a fight with a crocodile. So I think the writers already knew what they were doing and wanted to throw me a bone because they knew people like me wouldn't like it. I appreciate the effort. So I didn't like it though. Still, I didn't like it just because there was not enough action for me. After the sit down, oh yeah, we finally get to the fighting action part. Spider-Man gets around. Spider-Man was in this comic book. He's got his own tie-in going on. He was up in Jotunheim, and here he is in South America. They beat him, like I said, with Captain Marvel, aka Doctor Strange, using that power to get rid of the zombies. And there was so much focus that Enchantress was using to keep them apart that's the way that they came back to themselves. Okay. It ends with Captain Marvel saying that I gotta go to get the Queen of Cinder. So I'm looking for her in New Agents of Atlas. That makes it seem like they know what they're doing. I like that part of it. Because all the other kind of tie-ins have been out of place with the actual War of Realms event. At least this one is within the tie. Like in between 5 and issue 6. Makes sense, and it's cool. Another thing I picked up was they called the cat not Chewie, but Goose. Just like the movie. No issues there, no problem. I like some continuity in that. But the comic was not a good one for me. I'm sorry if you liked it. You let me know what you thought about it in the comment section, and try to turn my opinion. Maybe you're like, what is that? You didn't notice about the red tint, and you're saying, what is this Chillmonger guy talking about? I noticed it. There's a red tint. Just like in Daredevil on Netflix, there's a green tint. I noticed things like that. So thank you for watching the video. Chillmonger's the name. Reviewing comics is the game. You can subscribe by clicking on that head.